foremost, you've got to be aligned with the end goal, and that is we want to re-democratise Australia. We want to put the Constitution back in its rightful place, and we want to make sure that we do not have a two-party preferred system, because that is not, in my opinion, democratic, hasn't been for some time. So we are very open, and this is why I love what you do and what you offer with your platform. We are looking for as many minor parties to come together as possible, because we'll get powers in numbers, and we can get very strategic and very smart about how we run candidates either in the lower house or in the Senate all around Australia come, February, March next year when the election does run.
I'm having a chat today with Jason Miles, who is a candidate for the Great Australia Party. And actually, together with Jason's help, RDA is putting together a series called Together We Can Vote the Major Parties Out. And for me, the mission is to basically give a platform to as many minor parties as possible and showcase whatever they want to say to my audience, but also to educate my audience about the upcoming elections. So how has this whole roller coaster been for you?
Thanks, Mon. It's been exciting. It's been, I think just before we started, I said 13th of January 2020 was a pretty significant moment for me. But moving into the Great Australian Party, running for the Senate in Queensland was something that a good mate of mine helped me with. Jason Reynolds, who's a mate with Pete Evans, and Pete was running at the time. So kind of went down that. It really interviewed Rod, if you like, around that path. And then I've decided, move back home, and I'm back up here in Queensland and really enjoying what we're doing with the Great Australian Party. And I got to give you a call out, mate. You are an amazing human being. Really admire, much admiration for all you've done, and for your partner, Morgan, as well.
Thanks. Look, there's so many people doing so many amazing things now, which is different to, February 2020. So it's been a great journey. So why GAP and not IMOP or UAP, or, what do you resonate with them?
Yeah, good question. Well, one, I actually interviewed Rod as much as he interviewed me. But for me, I actually wanted to go back to the source of truth. And for me, the source of truth was the 1900 Constitution. And I sort of did my own research in and around that. I researched Augusto Zimmerman. I really got a perspective on his view of it. I looked for a party, in a sense, because after chatting with my mate, I looked for a party that at least was aligned with that belief, because I firmly believe that it would give us our liberties. The people would be in control of the parliament, which is exactly, the design, or the government, the design that it's meant to be. Came across Rod. Rod actually came across some of my videos I've been on my private page, and we went through an 8-hour process. And I love everything that Rod stands for and the party. So awesome. It doesn't mean that IMOP or Australian Federation or UAP or any of these guys are doing it. They're doing it their way, but this is just some fundamentals that I really enjoy about the Great Australian Party.
A lot of people say, why don't all the minor parties just join together? What would you say to that?
Yeah, for sure. Look, and I've spoken to you a couple of times, obviously off camera. I got pretty frustrated because I was saying to Rod at the time, like back in June when I first moved back home to Queensland, Rod, seriously, we've got to, start having conversations with Ricardo, with Craig. And he already had a couple with Craig. So he'd met Craig in the parliament. And I think Pete Evans might have gone along with him, and a couple of others. And then Rod decided, if you can rustle Rod a bit, and he's a fantastic human being, you can get him to action. And so he reached out to Mike O'Neill, who's just a wonderful human being, from the Informed Medical Options Party, and Glenn O'Rourke from the Australian Federation Party. And these three guys, basically, we've come together, and you would have heard of CADCO. I know you had it, and I'm not going to use it on your new platform, but we formed this democratic coalition, if you like, called the Commonwealth of Australia Democratic Cooperative. And it's where these three parties get together, and we want to expand on our common end goal, which is to re-democratise Australia. We can all be unique in our own way. We can have our own policies. Obviously, Mike will have his with his Informed Medical Options Party, Glenn with his, and Rod with his. But it doesn't mean we can't get smart on how we vote, on how we preference. And of course, our ultimate goal is to get the government, destroy this two-party system. So we came together about 9 weeks ago.
That's awesome. I firmly believe that it doesn't matter who has the seat, anyone is going to be better than Labor, Liberal, National or Greens. So I honestly am not prejudiced as to which one I like more either. I just think they've all got a different way of doing things, and they'll appeal to different people. that's why we're doing this series. Now, with CADCO, are you hoping to get more parties on board, or are you in communication with others?
We are indeed. Yeah, thanks. Good question. So we are looking for as many minor outside the four, obviously. We don't want the four. So they've got, foremost, you've got to be aligned with the end goal, and that is we want to redemocratise Australia. We want to put the Constitution back in its rightful place. And we want to make sure that we do not have a two-party preferred system, because that is not, in my opinion, democratic, hasn't been for some time. So we are very open, and this is why I love what you do and what you offer with your platform. We are looking for as many minor parties to come together as possible, because we'll get powers in numbers, and we can get very strategic and very smart about how we run candidates either in the lower house or in the Senate all around Australia come, February, March next year when the election does run.
Yeah, it's going to be a different election than ever before. People have never been so politically tuned in. So it's going to be very interesting. So I'm really excited about Sunday, 8 p.m. Now, the whole CADCO team is attending to speak to my audience. What do you hope to achieve by doing this series?
Perfect. So we want to get more parties in, and your platform is fantastic. So firstly, thank you for at least allowing us. For me, so I'm a secretary of CADCO, even though I'm running for the Senate here in Queensland. I'm still the secretary of that. I said to the boy, to Rod, Mike and Glenn a few times, I feel like, we're doing a lot of work. We may be spinning our wheels. We need better coverage. We need an independent platform, which is why we reached out to you. We understand you've got a great, and to be honest, I'm a bit of a fan of what you do and what Morgan do, and a lot of good people, especially in Victoria, where I lived 17 years, are doing. Your platform's got good exposure. You're not preferencing a party per se. You're very receptive and very open to bringing the minor parties together. That's exactly what we're looking for. So a wider audience. People can look at Rod Cullerton, they can look at Mike O'Neill, they can look at Glenn O'Rourke, and they can assess these people as they want. They can ask them questions in the forum, which you'll moderate. And they can get a dead set answer from the people in that moment. And I think that's really key to it.
Yeah, and we're going to have themes as well, aren't we? So the first episode will be more of an introduction. And then after that, we'll have themes, and hopefully we can educate people on how preferences work and how to vote, how to campaign, etc. Because to be honest, I'm still a bit confused sometimes too. So it's going to be great for everyone, including myself.
Yeah, good. And this is the thing, what I really love, Mon, is that we're going to educate Australia, because if I said to you, how does preferencing work for the lower house, or the upper house, and people go, well, hang on, what does preferencing mean? And what happens? I thought I put a number 1 for Monica in here and then just go 2, 3, 4, 5. That doesn't mean anything. Well, it's not true. And as we know, preferencing it's a significant way that the votes are tallied up and added, and really it's ensured that Liberals and Laborers have stayed there for such a long, long time. So if we get very smart about this, we can end it.
I absolutely think people are going to lap this series up, because people, especially in the last couple of days, there's been so much talk about preferences and what this party is doing and what that party is doing. And I think this episode will make people realize that it doesn't have to be one big party for it to work together. And it's actually good that there's so many minor parties, because they can preference each other. If they do it correctly, it'll actually mean a lot more.
Yeah, bingo. And I think the beauty with your audience is, and I do tune into a fair bit, is they may even choose the agenda. They may say, you know what, this Sunday night we want you guys to talk about X. I mean, that's true democracy, right? Let the people decide.
That could be fun.
I guess we haven't planned that one, but why not ask the people? Because the people, they should have the power on. So that's my view.
Well, I think preferences is the hot topic at the moment, and also the thing that is the most confusing to people. So that'll be great anyway. But we'll talk about so many things. We'll basically just, while I've got everyone's attention with this video, is like we're going to be doing this every fortnight for the foreseeable future, probably until the election. So who knows how it will evolve and how big the audience will get. We might even go international. You just never know. Maybe other people will use the same ideas that we've got. So thanks for bringing the idea and pushing me to do it, because, I know I'm busy and sometimes didn't get back to you. But here we are. We're doing it. It's great.
Well, it happened for a good reason. But just thank you for your support. Look forward to Sunday night, 8 o'clock. We'll get it out to our platforms, of course, and no doubt yours. And I look forward to being a viewer, watching you moderate these three guys. Just on preferencing, you've got some good luck with that. You've got some pretty good guys there that know preferencing very, very well. So I know it's an intro session, but maybe the first one is around preferencing. So thank you for all you're doing in that.
No worries. Thanks for running as a candidate. Thanks for putting your hat in the ring. We need more people like you just going for any party that has freedom at the forefront, because that's all that matters right now. So after we get our freedoms back, then we can start fighting about other things.
There's lots to undo and lots to fix, and kill this centralized model, start bringing more decentralized through. Yeah. So thank you, Mon. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason. I'll see you later.
All right, mate. Take care.